Hello, loyal Your Internet Friends listeners. This is Fanatical speaking, and I, on behalf of the rest of your Internet friends, would like to sincerely apologize for how long it took for us to get out to you, your Internet friends, special episode with Hannibal and Monty Part 2 out to you. You see, me, Woomy, Irish, and Nightmare were subjected to a horrible assault on our Discord accounts by an as-of-yet unknown assailant that led to the disabling of all of them, the potential loss of tons of Discords and friends, all without any recourse from the horrible appeal system that Discord has, keeping us still in jeopardy to this very day. Although it was beyond our control, we would still like to sincerely apologize for how this has affected your expectations with your Internet friends. However, we are not defeated so easily. Your Internet friends is coming back with a vengeance, and I can promise you this, dear listeners. You can rest assured that we will commit to a consistent schedule, and you can expect many more hijinks with the freaks of the Internet known as your Internet friends to be coming to you very soon. So, to reiterate, we apologize for what has kept us from releasing this episode, and we hope you'll be able to forgive us. Now, on with the villainy.
Joker! There's the fun in that. There's the fun in that. So smile, darn you smile. Everybody ought to laugh. And so with glee, I do decree, just smile, darn you smile.
Alright, guys.
Let's go down the Star Wars rabbit hole.
So before we get into the fucking awesome choices that we got from our special guest stars, H&M, you know, we love fashion.
We are not the coolest monkeys in the jungle.
Listen, you guys are going to have the most banging list.
That thing was such a big controversy in the UK because a lot of people didn't get it, and a lot of people were like confused by it. And I was like, they used a black kid or monkey, and how are you not getting this?
Yes. Yeah. How did that get through every approval? How did all those people sign off on it?
From Alabama, Monty. That's how.
I guarantee you, if they that day they had just picked a kid who wasn't black to model that shirt, it wouldn't have been a controversy. But the fucking idiots picked a black kid.
Okay,
Monty.
Jesus Christ! I didn't realize I was going to say
it was because they released it. They released it in Montgomery, Alabama.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, but so before we get into my list, I just want to say, as the little 18-year-old here, the youngest boy, you know, I'm a bit of a comic virgin, so I haven't read too many comics. So I hope you won't judge me too harshly for my choices. You know, please don't rape my comic virgin, asshole too hard.
Too far,
comic
really?
daddies. Yeah. So let's get to my top 10 picks. So number 10.
Just so you know, I'm judging you even more intensely now because you told us that.
Thank you.
So,
I'm waiting for it, Daddy. Ooh woo. But getting to number 10.
Hannibal, you have a son now.
Getting to number 10, my choice.
See, what was
my
Mom
choice for number
here,
10
child?
is Lobo, and I mostly chose him just because of the aesthetics. Because Lobo is just basically he fucking slaughtered his entire race of people as a science fair project, so he would be the only fucking survivor of his thing. He's a bounty hunter that just goes around and hunts people, and he just fights with Superman for the only reason being his own bravado, so he could be like, I'm the main man, and I fucking like bust these people. He's got a fucking awesome hook. He's like this fucking awesome cool villain. He is like
His bike is awesome.
Yeah, he is so cool, and he just
Fun
flies.
fact, he was also Stan Lee's favorite TC villain.
Yeah, and he just flies around space without needing a helmet because he's just a badass. Like, he is top bravado aesthetic. I love Lobo, and I just love hearing him go around. I'm the main man. He's great. I just love him.
Sarnians are so cool as well because he can reform from like a single drop of blood or like a single.
He is top tier. Just
he's not welcome in heaven or hell.
Yeah, he is top tier ridiculous badass. I love him.
The last time he showed up,
And
Predatory.
yeah, but moving on to my number
Blasphemy
9
showdown.
choice, and this is a One Piece villain. Now, please, One Piece stands out there. I haven't watched too much of One Piece. I'm only on Marineford, so I chose this guy mainly because I love his aesthetics. His name is Gekko Moria. And basically, he is just badass because his power, or devil fruit power in the series, is that he can take anybody's shadow, cut it off, and then put it into like a corpse and turn that into like a zombie that will just do whatever he wants, and it retains the superpowers of like whatever person's shadow he stole. So like he can find the most badass swordsman, cut off his like fucking shadow, put it into like the fucking zombie of like a badass dead swordsman, and then he turns that into like a fucking badass like zombie slave that can just do whatever, fight for him, and if anyone wants to fucking fight with him, well guess what? If you stand in sunlight without your shadow, you fucking die. This guy is like the peak, just like, I'm a fucking cool ass like villain that just steals your powers and then uses them to make people, like make corpses fight for me. He's like the ultimate just like, I'll make someone else do it type villain, and I love him. And plus he's got like a fucking badass laugh, fucking like I love him. I know probably not too many of you are One Piece fans, but Gekko Moria, I fucking love him. Now then, moving on to my number 8, Captain Boomerang. Now, this is my last aesthetic choice, and this may be contentious, so allow me to explain. I really love Captain Boomerang's dynamic in the Suicide Squad because he is just an utter asshole. Like you have like Harley Quinn and like fucking Floyd Lawton to be like the emotional core, but all Boomerang is, he's just this selfish, self-interested, like fucking asshole guy, and I just love the way he interacts because no matter what they're doing, he's always just like, ah, fuck you guys, I'm gonna fucking throw me boomerangs around and fuck with all you. I love him. He is like great in the Suicide Squad like dynamics, at least for me. I would love to hear contention otherwise though, but I love the way he's just the utter asshole. It's really endearing to me.
I will never forget
I love your Captain Boomerang accent just now. I feel like you knocked it off the park.
That was incredibly accurate.
Oh yeah, no. Boomerang is just the best. Like us, I loved him in Assault on Arkham, where like literally his whole thing was just making fun of Floyd Lawton the entire time. He's just an unrepentant asshole. That is just why I love Boomerang. He's just this fucking I don't care what any of you guys think. I'm fucking save myself,
Boomerang
mate.
have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Ben,
Yeah,
recently, in Apocalypse War, there's a scene between Captain Boomerang and John Constantine. Now, Constantine's famously Cockney English, and because Australians and English people hate each other, where it's just them calling each other slurs against each other for a solid minute.
That is adorable. That's why I chose him as my number 8, because I just fucking love assholes, and he is the ultimate asshole of the DC universe. Coming in at number 7 for me, and this is a character from My Hero Academia, is Hero Killer Stain. Now, this is the first character that I've chosen because I really like his thematic role, and his idea as a character basically is that he is just supposed to be like this anarchy guy who's like, I hate superheroes nowadays. They're all corporate, like, assholes who don't stand for anything. The only hero who is worthy to kill me is like this one superhero who I think meets my criteria of idealism, but the rest of them are just corporate shills. And what I really like about him is that he just represents this like perfect idea of the dangers of like skeptical anarchy without like a perfect need, because essentially he doesn't really have a specific goal, but he is throwing out all these points where it's like, yeah, some villains are some heroes are corrupt, some heroes are like not good guys, and he's going around killing those people, and he inspires in other people to feeling like, yeah, fuck the status quo, fuck how things are going. But because he doesn't have a clear like ideal and identity that he's trying to go for, he invites every single villain to just like use that code of anarchy to like just start fucking doing whatever they want. And he, in that sense, represents like this ultimate evil of like unchecked like anti-authoritarianism that like invites any villain to just do whatever the fuck they want, because yeah, essentially, yeah, he is political anarchy without a clear goal, and he is what invites the ultimate villainy, justified anger turned into like just aimless villainy. And that's why I really appreciate Hero Killer Stain. I don't know if any of you guys else watch My Hero Academia. I feel like some of my choices are going to end up being like this, but he's a very good villain in my opinion.
No, my daughter's best friend loves him.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched it. It's been on my watch list for about 10,000 years.
It is very good. I would recommend it.
Not a weeb.
Stain is probably
I'm gonna
like
be
the
real.
best one.
I started a while back. I thought the first episode was boring, so I didn't continue.
I would recommend
Yeah,
continuing it. It gets
Yeah, I've
gets
heard you
very
have to keep
motivational, at
going
least
with
for me.
that show. I've heard you have to keep going with that show. You can't
It
just
gets super
watch it
motivational, trust me. But moving on to number 6, my number 6 pick is Harley Quinn. And I think that as far as it comes to like just female protagonists, I think that she as like both as an abuse victim and as a character who has like gone beyond being an abuse victim, I think she has just been really powerful as a character. Like her whole dynamic with Joker, having this like infatuation with him so much that her entire identity is copied based off of him, and that she just follows him to a T despite how she abuses him because of like, you know, how manipulative she can be towards him. She worked wonderfully as like this abuse victim when she was first introduced, and in later depictions of her struggles with trying to get over like her abusive relationship with the Joker.
Introduced in Batman the Animated Series. She wasn't actually introduced in the comics.
Yeah, no, they introduced her, they took her and created this interesting relationship with her in like Mad Love. Both the comic and the episode itself were really good. I think they just have done a wonderful job with like turning her into this abuse victim, and then in these later comics, like having her deal with the struggles of getting over being just defined by the Joker, finding her own identity despite her past as an abuse victim. I think it's a really powerful character, and I've always really enjoyed what freedom like.
Not gonna lie, Margot
Robbie
Robbie's also hot.
Margot Robbie is also hot. I do prefer maybe some more of the comic book adaptations of her, but I really enjoy like what she has become as a character, and like what like the symbol and like themes and characters that they've explored with her. She really is a powerful villainous character, I think, at least to me.
All right.
Yeah.
No, good pick. Good pick.
Thank you. But moving on to number 5, I have Venom. Now, here's where my comic book virginity comes a bit into play. I have not read as many comic books, Spider-Man comic books, as I need to have. But what I have watched was Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm going to use the out that Devil used for one of his characters. And the Venom that was portrayed in Spectacular Spider-Man, this Venom that like just sort of like lost everything because of Peter Parker, desired by Peter to have it come onto him, but just like
EXE is tough.
What was that? Oh,
you just malfunctioned.
Am I really? Okay, well, I'm coming pretty clearly, at least on my audio.
No, mentally malfunctioned.
Oh yeah. I just fucking started stuttering. I apologize. Banatical.exe stopped working. Allow me to refresh. Okay. All right. Good. We're rebooted. There we go. Yeah. It's really tough for me to choose a good Spider-Man villain, because there really are just so many like engaging ones, like fucking Mysterio, Green Goblin, Doc Ock. They're all really great, but unlike like Batman villains, it's really hard for me to choose a really thematically powerful one, because I don't know, I feel like compared at least to Batman villains, they all kind of are a little harder to get on what they do represent thematically in their story. But I feel like Venom, at least being like this reflection of what Spider-Man would become if like he just desired power like unchecked, and how Eddie Brock sort of differentiates that in being just this person who wants this unlimited amount of power because he feels so emasculated. I feel like, especially how they reflect that in the aesthetic of Venom, in being this like version of Spider-Man suit that's just unchecked and fully goes into the spider thing with how wild and crazy it gets. I think there's a really powerful like theming to just everything that Venom and Eddie Brock is that I think is really strong, and I feel like it was really well reflected in Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series, but I've always just really enjoyed him the most out of like all the Spider-Man villains for what he does thematically, at least in, for me.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Love Venom.
Venom is wonderful.
And as a Venom. I mean, as a villain.
Yeah. But moving on from Venom, we go to my number 4 pick, where I think I've chosen the superior JoJo villain, though we can argue on that. My choice is Funny Valentine, and his stand, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, or D4C. Now, the reason why I think Funny Valentine is the best JoJo villain is because of how just really well he's used in the story to represent like American exceptionalism, because thematically throughout the story, as they collect the corpses of Jesus Christ, part 7's a very weird part with the fucking horse race to collect parts of Jesus Christ. throughout the story, the entire idea behind what Funny Valentine is supposed to represent is that he is not necessarily a liar or a cheat compared to most like really scummy JoJo villains. He is a very honest and truthful villain who has this whole backstory where like his dad died as a soldier for America, and he was so inspired by that he really isn't necessarily evil because he's like underhanded or manipulative. He is evil because his idea is putting America first above all else. In fact, upon gathering all the parts of the Jesus Christ corpse, what he gets is the ability to take all the suffering that is inflicted onto him and transfer it somewhere else. Like how America will profit off of other countries, taking all the pain that is needed for labor and transferring it somewhere else.
Don't get the communists going.
Yeah, no. But this is how he represents the idea of America and sexualism. It doesn't matter who needs to suffer. It doesn't matter who is subjugated. Just as long as his ideal of America is being helped, and it doesn't matter who else has to go down for it. And I think that in how his character is reflected, where his superpower D4C is that he can bring in 1,000 different versions of himself just to be sacrificed for a new one to come in. It represents this American idea of I don't need to care. I can sacrifice whoever it needs. I can put my workers down. It's all about serving the greater America. And ultimately, that isn't really necessarily a dishonest desire, but it is truly evil. That nationalism that puts every country except for your own at the bottom, it is a truly evil desire. And I think that that's really well reflected in Funny Valentine's character. Yeah, sorry, I'm going on a bunch of explanations. I just really love the villains that I've chosen. And going on from that, we have my number 3 choice. So, as I've mentioned before with the other list, I am a big fan of Batman villains because I think every Batman villain just really well, reflects an aspect of Batman that, should he have chosen not to become a hero, could have turned him into a villain, like Mr. Freeze. He's what would happen if Batman took his obsession with avenging his parents and turned that into something evil, because he's just obsessed with avenging his loved ones. If you look at Two-Face, he is what Batman trying to get justice could have gone wrong if he had turned to evilness and portraying pursuing gangs and stuff like that. All of Batman's villains work really, really well because they all reflect elements of Batman that, had he chosen to go to the dark side, could have been his defining evil parts. And for me, at least, there's no villain that I personally love more in the way that they worked with that than the Riddler. Because the Riddler reflects Batman's egotism. If it were to just, instead of being used to help people and his intelligence was something beneficial for people, he just became obsessed with his own ego. And I always loved that the Riddler...
If he just became a
Yeah, if he just became a dick. I don't know, maybe I have some love for dick characters, but the Riddler always finds just a good way, whether he's the main character or a side character, to just make everything about him and be this distracting narcissistic asshole who just plays along with Batman, because really this villainy, this gang stuff, it's all just a game, and he just wants to flaunt around with his intellect. And he almost has that really fun Joker aspect about him, where it's his greatest weakness is that he's super obsessed with Batman and beating Batman in that sense. And I've always really loved the Riddler because he's just this fun, hateable, narcissistic side attraction that I've just always loved out of the Batman series,
All right.
Yep. But for my
Riddler's a good pick.
Yeah. But for my number 2 choice, I'm going to go, and this might be an obscure one for you guys, so do tell me if you don't know who this is, but my number 2 choice was Mr. Gone from The Max.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, there we go. I thought Monty might know this one. So, I am a huge fan of The Max, how they take these Jungian archetypes and turn it into these fun psychological words to explore abuse and trauma. It is wonderful, and no one embodies it better than the villain, Mr. Gone. This victim, this male victim of female sexual assault, this very underreported, undercared for traumatic experience, and how he turned that into becoming a serial rapist, but eventually transformed that from being a villain to being someone who inspired people to look at their trauma and try to better themselves. There's this whole sort of evil but sort of also helpful in people causing trauma but also saving people from trauma, helping people to recognize their trauma, all through this dark evil ooh, I'm going to show you your trauma, yet despite sort of somehow being the good guy by showing people the ugly truth, there's just this ooey gooiness to his evil that's both good and bad, and it's mixed into all this trauma stuff that I just really like. Mr. Gone is a great villain, at least in my opinion.
Mr. Gone is an excellent villain.
Yeah.
That is my favorite pick of this show right now.
Thank you. Please, everyone, I know I've spoiled a little bit, but read The Max. It is great. It is a great comic.
E. Green's gonna spaz out on Hannibal if he sees.
What did you say, Hannibal? What was that?
I'm I'm on Wikipedia right now, and I was like, man, let me Google Mr. Gone. And this is what it says. This is the first line it says.
Yeah.
His rape spree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that's the first
Already off to a great start.
Yeah, he is great. Like his backstory, his his role, he is like one of my favorite villains. If it weren't for how great I think my number one pick is, I would definitely have made him my number one. I love Mr. Gone. All right.
The Max is probably one of the best comics I've ever read.
It is so good.
From
my
top
god.
to bottom.
Yeah, the art style, the theming, the characters. Oh my god, it's amazing. I didn't really need to get the complete series, but moving on from that, my number one pick for the best villain is Jon Arbuckle from the cartoon series Garfield. Now, allow me to explain my choice here for Jon Arbuckle. We need to examine the Garfield comics from an existentialist
The guy that gives
perspective.
Garfield his fucking lasagna.
Now listen, if we look at the character of Garfield, he is the existentialist dream. He is a character who has chosen his perspective on life, no matter how much it conflicts with reality, with how horrible his ideals are and maybe harmful they may be. He doesn't care what society has to say. He doesn't care what, people have to do, because he has embraced it. He is happy. He hates Mondays. He loves lasagna. He kicks Odie, and he is happy. He is satisfied with that life. But Jon is a person who is stubborn with his beliefs, but is unhappy. He goes around like Dante from Mallrats, complaining all the time. Oh, the girls don't like it when I do polka. Oh, yeah, nobody appreciates me playing the kazoo. Like, what's going on?
Who's your real number one, then?
If you want to stick to your fucking values and interests, don't fucking whine when society decides not to dislike it. That is the ultimate existentialist thing, is to realize that by whining about society not accepting you, you are keeping yourself down, bro. That is why Jon Arbuckle is the ultimate villain. Okay, obviously I'm joking about this.
I was about to be like, Jesus, did Ben pick the worst or the best villain?
No. Okay.
What did Garfield ever do to Ben?
Okay, no.
Garfield's not the villain.
Yeah,
Jon
Arbuckle. Jon Arbuckle was my villain choice. Okay, so actually my number one choice, and this is where my comic fucking virginity shows itself again. It has to be the Joker, and it's just because, honestly, as far as what I've read for villains, he's just one of the most malleable, flexible villains. It really struck me just in anyway, he wasn't even the main character in Batman Arkham Asylum, a Strange House on Strange Hills, or whatever it is, I do forget it. But just the role that he was able to play with Batman, just as this introducer to madness, this almost semi-sexual person who reflects Batman's relationship with madness, which is a huge theme of that story. It really showed to me how the Joker is really just this tool to explore the darkness of Batman, however you want to reflect it. Is it suffering and personal tragedy? Is it just selfishness and deep desire? Whatever it is, Joker is just this perfect tool that writers can always find a way to reflect what is evil, what is reprehensible, what Batman ultimately can both sympathize and has to vehemently stand against. The Joker is just this perfect vessel to explore all aspects of insanity and hatred and vengeance and pity and depression through, and I think it's always so beautiful, just every interpretation and how it can take something new and make something unique with the Joker, and I really appreciate that,
All right.
Yeah.
Cancel Jon Arbuckle.
Jon Arbuckle is a good villain. Yeah.
He wouldn't let that nigga Garfield have lasagna. I understood that as the pick, all right? Yeah, so let me give you all my list. So first things first, when I made my list, I did it all villains from all universes, not just comics. So I got villains from just movies, TV shows, just all places. I got a bunch of villains. And I started while we were doing the show, I was like, I'm going to reformat my list. I was like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to do that right now. So I'm just going to give y'all a list I wrote.
Honestly, Hannibal, I love it because I kind of want to, if we're doing a list of favorite comic book villains, I want to do a list of other
general
villain
villains
types as well.
We can do that. Let's do a later episode about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, seeing as you might not be on that, I'm totally fine with you being no, this is just my top 10 villains.
Give us your tasty grab bag.
Yeah, these are my top 10
Oh, we doing
villains.
cameras now?
Oh, my top 10 favorite villains of all
I'll
time.
do a little camera.
And this was tough because there was a lot of people that I had on the list that I took off, and I was like, do I like this person more than that person, or do I like this versus that? So it was a lot of juggling around to kind of refine this list. So
Mhm.
I feel happy with it. Okay, so number 10 on Hannibal's favorite villains list of all time is Ramsay Snow, aka Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. Okay, that
Ooh.
kid is a fucking despicable piece of garbage that I fucking love. I love watching. I love a character that I hate so much that I simultaneously want to root for him and watch him die. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I kind of felt the same way about Cersei.
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah,
so
Ramsay was a vicious little cunt.
yeah, no, Cersei Lannister is every ex-girlfriend I've ever had. So it's just like I just minus the white shit. You know what I'm saying? But just her character, her privilege, just everything about her is just like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like in her, like if it could exist in Westeros, that bitch would be walking around listening to nothing but Beyonce music the whole time. Like I can just see them.
Cersei for a
Fucking top
character that
privilege.
acted so fucking stupid.
I could see it, honestly.
But no, Ramsay Bolton is despicable because he would do terrible just because, like, he got a kick out of doing awful things to people, and I thought that was great. Like, just
He
him
killed
fucking
Rickon for shits and giggles. He killed Rickon in front of Jon just to piss Jon off.
He fed his baby, his newborn baby brother, to a bunch of dogs because there was no, you know. Yeah. So yeah, Ramsay Bolton is my Ramsay Snow. Ramsay Bolton is my number 10. And I definitely hated Cersei more, and I definitely hated Joffrey more. But like in terms of just his like the level of his psychoticness, I was just the character that I love to hate, a fun hate. It's like I hate you, and I can't wait to kill you. But with everybody else, it was just like even with deaths, it was like it's not enough. Okay, died it and then get killed again. I need them to find different ways to murder you over and over again. But with Ramsay Bolton, I was like, no, where is that? So yeah.
I
I
kind of wish that he'd been fed the ghost instead of the dogs, though. It would have been funny to see Ghosty.
Yeah, that would have been dope. Or like see him get turned into like a White Walker and then get him stabbed in the heart with dragon glass, something like that. That would have been kind of cool. All right, so number 9 on Hannibal's favorite villains list of all time is Egon from Walking Dead. All right, Negan is Negan and Lucille are just the best.
Can I ask a question, Hannibal?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you basing this mainly off the comic book or the TV show?
Both, sir. Both.
Ooh.
Because can I be real? I find myself as the only person in this position. I was a fan of the comic book way before the TV show was even announced. Like when the TV show was announced, I was like, "Oh shit, they're making a show out of The Walking Dead," whereas everyone else was like, "Oh shit, they're making a show about zombies." And
Fun fact about Nightmare, I actually was an extra. Hannibal actually went to that. I was an extra on one of the episodes.
Oh, I thought you were just like walking by in the background and they mistaked your dirty body for just a normal zombie. Isn't that the story?
This is coming from a Jew. I'm not.
Whoa! What are you saying about Jews? Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah, no, this coming from a dirty Jew. Not to offend you, but
I love you, Ben. You know.
Yeah, I like bombs. No, when
don't pigs like you just wipe yourself in the fucking dirt all mud all the time?
I find myself in this weird position where I was the only person who hated the show.
Really?
I kind of hate. I feel like, and I feel like I should probably go back and try and watch it again because I feel like it was the people I was around at the time when it first came out that ruined it for me because I made the mistake of like after I watched all through season 1. It was during season 2 that I stopped watching, and it was because I had made the mistake of revealing that I was a fan of the comic book and was way further along in the story than where the show was. And so basically all the people I was around who got into the show just ruined it for me by just
Ruin it.
constantly bugging me about
Are you
it.
sure you weren't the problem though?
I'd say give it another shot without those motherfuckers. Give it another
Are-
shot.
Are
Yeah.
you
One
sure?
of the
Are you
things
sure
that
you
ruined the
weren't
show
the
for me-
problem though? Like you were just like going around like talking about the comic, being like, yeah, actually, I read this before. I already know what's going to happen in the next chapter. Yeah, you see that phrase? Do you see that phrase? You see that phrase they're using, walker? It's actually from the language English. It means one who walks.
language English.
I stopped really liking the show after they did because Shiva's death is supposed to be this epic kind of final stab tiger, and then what do we get? She gets killed by like fucking 5 zombies.
Can I say what really made it terrible is the further away from the comic book the show got, the worse it was for me, because I was constantly getting bombarded by questions, and then I would give an answer and it would be wrong.
I hate as well that they're just fucking they're like,
and then I would be the asshole, like, why did you lie to me? I swear to God, that's the way it worked. It's the way it happened.
Walking Dead is one of those shows that creates a lot of anti-fans, like a lot of people that like something so much that it makes you hate whatever they like because they like it so much. You know, it's like Walking Dead is one of those shows. Game of Thrones is one of those shows, and it's not just TV shows.
JoJo
It's
is like
video
that
games,
too.
it's comic books, it's music, it's fucking like think about it. Like the reason so many people hate the Cowboys and hate the Yankees is because they hate their because we hate Patriots fans. Not
The
I'm
same.
a Braves fan.
It's similar with like Sonic, Undertale, anything that has a rabid fan base.
Yeah. It's like they get into and then they get into that whole I can't believe you're not watching this. I can't believe you've never done this or you've never been here. And then the more they do that,
I've never won a 28-3 Super Bowl league.
You've never jacked off with a bat with nails through it. Oh my god!
I understand people hating the Sonic fandom because you have to. It has Christian.
I mean, the thing is that what I'm saying is that bad fans that are like act cringily or mean can like ruin your series that you like because you're just like, oh, I hate the fandom surrounding it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily
So
justified.
Hannibal,
but
back
it's
to
just
you.
hard-
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I've done more than my fair share of rants about anti-fans and how they just how their overzealous nature will push people away from certain things. But I would challenge you to watch when maybe not immediately, not now, but in time. Take some time and then watch the Walking Dead show. It's a very good show because I had read the comic and I'd always wondered if they would ever get to Negan and
I did too.
how they would portray him. And Dean Morgan is first off, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is just a fantastic actor. It's like getting an Oscar level actor on like a fucking TV show. It's like he's almost too good for but it works though. And it's like when he makes his first appearance and just the way he kills with impunity. It's like, look, I did it. I had to do it. And if I had to do it again, I would, So it is what it is. Stop crying. Stop being a pussy. Get over it. He's dead. Keep it moving. So Negan is awesome. So Negan is my number 9 pick. Let me get back to my list. All right. Number 8 on Hannibal's top 10 villains of all time is M. Bison.
Of course.
From M. Bison is one of my favorite guys of Victor.
Okay, so here's an interesting question for you. What is better for you comparing him to Shere Khan? That's the Mortal Kombat villain's name, though, right? Shere Khan? No, wait, that's the fucking monster from. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Shere Khan's the badass tiger.
Oh my god, you're so right. Who was I thinking of? What's his name? Kubla Khan?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Shao
Kahn.
Yes.
And looking that great a villain next to Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung is a way better. You know what I'm saying? Like he's way more evil, and I love the idea of him being able to take the powers of the people he kills.
I think
that's
Double.
just,
I think Double from Skullgirls did the idea cooler.
You know, but with M.
Skullgirls.
Bison, M. Bison on Street Fighter. First off, I love like that his power comes from him pushing all of it from his body. It's like, you know what? There's no more good. There's no more joy. There's no more hate and rage, and I can turn it until it's purple glow around my body. You back and forth across the screen. When I used to play Street Fighter 2, this nigga would come out. He would kick you with a roundhouse. You would be dizzy. He would hit you with a Psycho Crusher, and you was dead, and he would laugh at you. Okay? All right? I can't tell you how many fucking arcade controllers I destroyed because of M. Bison. All right? And then in this is responsible for, like, he killed Chun-Li's father. He killed, I think, Suri's parents. He did some fucked up shit to Cammy, the T-Hawk. He killed Guile's partner, Charlie. Like, he's just bad for no reason. You know, he dresses like a fucking SS Nazi. He's tied. It's like nothing about him makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's awesome.
He is an uber asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Can I say can I say what makes the least amount of sense is that he hosts a tournament and that he flies these fucking people all over the world. Like, yo, this person's from Russia, so you fly to Russia.
At least the Mortal Kombat series.
Fly where you're from to fight you.
At least the Mortal Kombat series understood, like, alright, yeah, let's just all put them in the fucking alternate dimension and they stay in one location to have the combat.
Like M. Bison is like, no, I'm gonna pay for you guys to fly to each other's houses.
Okay, but isn't that like a flex, though? That's a pretty epic flex. Like, yes, I will send you all to your countries. You will go anywhere to fight that pleases me.
And Bison is such a villain. And look, Bison is such a villain. I'm positive he's sending everybody on like Spirit Airlines. Okay, so they're getting very uncomfortable seats. They're not getting a drink. They can't check their bags. It's gonna be like he's gonna fly you out there, but it's only gonna cost him like $59 round trip, and you're gonna have a terrible time. So he's very strategic with that, and that's why M8 villain on my list. Now, my number
strategic airfare.
Yeah, you know, he's gonna fly you there on the worst airline possible. Yeah. You know, like he's gonna get you there, but you're not gonna be comfortable. And you know, so there's that, and he'll give you the response on the wing where they got the fucking emergency exit sign and shit. So you got the added responsibility of having to sit there as well. So all that. My number 7 favorite villain of all time, and this is kind of it's not weird, but it's just because it's a villainesque, I should say. You know, I don't know exactly how to classify. It's the Xenomorph.
Anti-hero? Oh, a monster.
Oh, that's actually I dig that.
Xenomorph is a fun choice.
I have to agree with Hannibal about the Xenomorph.
Yeah,
no, the Xenomorph
I love just like every
Lucas Glover killing one in the movie.
Creation is fantastic to me. Just like I love
Danny Glover beating the shit out of one in the movies.
Yeah, I love that they grow from the embryo grows from the whatever the host was. So if the host was a bull, then you got the bull xenomorph. If it's a human, it's human or xenomorph. If it's a dog or whatever. So I love that aspect of it. I love that their body heat matches whatever the ambient temperature is of whatever environment they're in. So it's like if it's a cold environment, then they're cold. If it's a hot environment, then they're hot. And it makes them impossible to track. They got the big, long fucking stabby tails. Blood is acid. You know, these motherfuckers are smart. They kill you and absorb your body.
The reason the predators consider them the ultimate prey.
stuff. Yeah, the xenomorphs are just the fucking perfect killing machine, and they don't get scared. They just always come forward. They're like the raptors from Jurassic, except they got superpower.
Yeah, pretty much.
The only time xenomorphs get scared is of bigger xenomorphs, or if it's like an elite predator.
Can I say something?
No.
In response to you talking about different kinds of xenomorphs, I had a fuck ton of the Alien versus Predator action figures as a kid. Like I had the gorilla xenomorph and like the horse xenomorph.
Like shit.
Only the highest of the quality
I had
for
a
little
bunch
Looney.
of those.
I'm googling that right now. Horse
Like,
xenomorph.
I think that was one. I had one that I think was a horse. I don't know what else it could have been, based on the way it fucking looked.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want you guys to know, Looney here is an old man. He is 27.
I am
I'm sorry.
27.
I'm
so
sorry, Hannibal. I'm sorry, Monty. I forgot.
Yes, so I'm a little older, so I remember things
Basically
that
ancient.
the rest of these babies might not.
Hey, I'm 22.
You're not the oldest person in here.
Hey, listen here, man. I'm 8.
I don't know how old Hannibal and Monty are, so I don't know if I'm the oldest person.
Oh, I know. I know how
6'8".
old they are. I'm the only person that found out Hannibal's age. Never told you that. I was hilarious.
Yeah, he figured it out. He uses his cop sense of deduction and figured it out. Like
Actually, Ace just Daryl just snitched.
He did a background check on you.
I know, he always does that, and it bothers the shit out of me. He's always just like, I'm like, hey man, keep that shit to your fucking self. You know what I'm saying? But then he does it, so people
He can't. He can't help his.
Threw Ace's landlord down flight of stairs.
Nightmare can't help his cop instincts. He sees a black person who's just like, oh, I gotta look if he's ever committed a crime, gotta find out the details about him. I just can't trust him.
I gotta investigate.
Hannibal can attest to this. I can help you when you get into some legal mess.
That's true. I got myself into a little trouble, and I called Nightmare, and I was like, hey man, need some help, and we figured it out. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. And he did that. So when I say fuck the police, just know I'm saying it about the other 999,999 cops in America, not you.
Are you aiding Hannibal in his illegal Funko Pop fucking ring?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let me see. 10, 9, 8, 7. So my number 6 villain is one of the most dastardly characters to ever be on television, and he's been around for a very long time. His name is Steve Montgomery Burns.
Ooh.
Monty Burns is, so first off, I've never met a person named Monty that wasn't evil as shit. So
what you're saying is that I'm invincible.
Can confirm.
$1 or eternal happiness.
Steve Montgomery Burns.
I'd be happier with the dollar.
Yes.
I've only met one Monty, though.
He's an utter scumfuck, that guy, though. Don't tell him I said it.
Yeah, he's evil for no reason. He's a capitalist. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't care.
Man, you are perfectly describing Monty.
He's a capitalist.
He's a capitalist, a scumbag. He's also a comic book artist. Just a terrible guy. Oh yeah, Seymour Montgomery Burns.
Only thing about women is just, I don't know. It's crazy to see Montgomery Burns, man. He's just an evil thing. So it just
he's the best.
He's one of the I think one of the greatest villains of all, because he's funny. He's just evil because he's like all I care about is making money and making other people's lives miserable.
He also has a great dynamic with Smithers.
I would argue he's a little more complicated than that, because we have seen, depending on which episodes we're watching, a lot of some of the more emotional sides to Burns. So I feel like he's not.
To be fair, as a child, he abandoned his parents for a richer dad that didn't really care for him. So he's kind of
no. So I'm not saying he's not evil. I'm saying that I would argue, he's evil for evil's sake. I agree with you. Yeah. But in addition to being evil for evil's sake, we've seen all these very interesting aspects.
Oh,
of
like
Burns.
that one episode where he got confused with the ketchup and catsup, and he just completely broke down without someone to take care of him because he's lonely and senile.
Yeah, and he was just like, he's talking to the ketchup again.
Ketchup, ketchup, ketchup. Oh, I'm way over my head.
So C Montgomery Burns, my number 6 pick. My number 5 pick has been discussed multiple times today on this show. It is Carnage, aka Cletus Cassidy. He is essentially he's Marvel's version of the Joker. If the Joker had a fucking symbiote, like he is insane because and it's awesome. The Maximum Carnage series is one of my favorite comic book series ever written, and Mom actually started reading Absolute Carnage. We haven't finished it. We started reading Absolute Carnage.
Oh, nice.
And it's fucking great. You know, I love, like, one of my favorite Carnage scenes is he's got the Cletus Cassidy has the Carnage symbiote, and then he goes back to the orphanage he was raised in, and then he turns into Carnage and kills all the kids in the orphanage. That's insane. That's fucking awesome.
They shouldn't have been homeless.
I would very much love to see Woody Harrelson go into an orphanage and then just murder a bunch of kids. Anakin Skywalker.
I too would like to see Woody Allen kill a bunch of homeless children.
Can I say? Oh, good. I was gonna say that is the you had the best description I've ever heard for Carnage. That he's the Marvel's Joker.
So basically, what you're saying is he's like the Joker, but on crack.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I think that is like the best way I've ever heard him described, and
it is fairly true.
My favorite Carnage moment is whenever he dies the first time, because Sentry, he doesn't even die. That's the worst thing. Everyone thought Carnage was canonically dead for fucking 6 years, because during a breakout of the raft, Sentry grabbed him, took him into the upper atmosphere, and ripped him in half. And he survived that.
Was it Sentry or the Void?
No, it was just Sentry.
It was true.
Carnage killed dozens of people on his breakout of the raft, and almost killed like multiple superheroes. And then Sentry just smashed through a wall, grabbed him, boom, through the ceiling, into the upper atmosphere, ripped him clean in half, and left him there.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That
bad.
was actually the beginning of. I think that was actually during the beginning of the breakdown into like the darker version of him, because I'm pretty sure that was just before the Dark Avengers storyline.
Yeah. I fucking love Carnage. I think Carnage is a great character. I've been waiting for I've been waiting for Carnage to get introduced into the cinematic universe for a while. Just because I think character is so great.
Marvel doesn't own the rights.
Yeah, and I've been hoping that the special effects would be caught up to a place where they could give him a quality visual representation. I don't think that. Well, I don't think that Sony is probably the best company to do a Carnage incarnation.
I mean, they did Venom well.
Yeah.
See, I think they did Venom well enough. But like Venom could have been better. Like there's nobody that's putting Venom in their top 10 comic book movies of all time. And
Part 2.
All right, so my number 4, right? So Carnage is 5. Fucking love Carnage. Always love that character. Number 4 is Gul Dukat from Star Trek Deep Space.
Yes.
Gul Dukat, in my mind, is the best developed Star Trek villain. End of sentence. Full stop. Period.
Oh my God! Yes.
Gul Dukat is just the best because he's arrogant, he's powerful, and there are so many times in the series where it would have just been better for them to kill him off and just be like, yeah, man, there's a situation. We could kill him right now. And they always, the Federation always errs on the side of oh, well, we got to keep the relations and blah, blah, and all this shit. And it's like, you're going to fucking regret it. You should have killed him here. Like, right? And like,
And you were talking about
despicable ththings that he does on that show, like fucking, like he's got a daughter that's half Cardassian, half Bajoran, and he's like, man, Major Kira, I need you to go to this camp where they're holding some Bajorans. But he's really just going there because he wants to kill his own daughter because he doesn't want anybody to find out that he was fucking Bajoran slaves when he was ruling the country. That's amazing. Yeah, he's such a despicable, awful, hateable character, and he's charismatic, and intelligent, and in his mind. And this is the thing that I've always loved about the Gul Dukat character. It was like, because the way that Deep Space Nine is written is like the Cardassians are the SS, they're the Germans, and the Bajorans are the Jews. You know what I'm saying? So the occupation is basically, Poland, the Polish occupation. The way they did. And Gul Dukat's character, in his mind, him occupying their territory for 30, 40 years was a good thing for the Bajoran people. And that's amazing that in his mind, he was doing good, tearing families apart, raping women. Like, he was like, no, this was a good thing for you guys. You know what I'm saying? And like,
good thing for him.
Can I tell you were that Space Nine? I'm actually I own like Starfleet uniform. Like, I'm that level of Trekkie. Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's the Dominion War. The Dominion War, the best thing to ever happen.
In fact, I've often described, when people ask me, like, whenever I'm like, I tell people, yeah, no, Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek, and they're like, oh, why? And this is my go-to definition or explanation of what Deep Space Nine. It's Star Trek at war.
Yes.
It's a Star Trek combined with like a war drama. Like it's great. It's some of the previous version. The original series was kind of campy. The Next Generation had its points where it was kind of dry, but Deep Space Nine was just great.
Yeah. Deep Space Nine is a fucking fantastic show. They would have these 7-part episodes that would kind of overlap with like previous things, and I love that they were able to, get Comey, as Chief O'Brien, from the the Next Generation, and bring him over to Deep Space Nine, and then the same thing with Michael Dorn as Worf. It's just a great fucking show. I love Deep Space Nine. The Dominion War is great, but the two best villain characters, I think two of the best villain character in the Star Trek universe is Gul Dukat, and I think one of the top 5 best villains is Kai Wynn. The Bajoran. Who was she? The Fetid.
She was the holy person.
Yeah, she was like their holy person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they were
priest, witch doctor.
Despicable. They were just two very despicable, hateable characters. You know what I'm saying? But they were hateable in a way that made you love them. And it was like, man, the they kill you off is gonna be like, I'm gonna fucking pop some champagne, this motherfucker. So yeah, Gul Dukat is one of the absolute best villains I think ever created. I tip my hat to Mark Alamo, the actor who played him, because yeah, he really made me fucking hate that character. But it was like, but you hate him, but you love him at the same time. So it's just like, all right, I'm with it. So yeah, Gul is my number 4 favorite villain of all time. My number 3 favorite villain of all time is Apocalypse from X-Men. I'm actually surprised nobody else said Apocalypse, but that's okay. I got you guys.
I mentioned Apocalypse earlier.
I'm not. I need to read more X-Men, to be honest.
I apologize. Yeah, look. So when I was young, I grew up reading the X-Men, and Apocalypse is the villain among villains. You know what I'm saying? He's that guy that's just, yeah, I want to watch you guys go to war, so only the strongest survive, and that's what we build our civilization on. Like, let's get rid of all the weak babies,
Yeah.
him in the river, and that's it. I only want the best of the best of the best. And then for him, and I know they did a lot of retconning with his character over the years. So, he when they back in time and there's he was the guy that helped create S.H.I.E.L.D. He was the guy who helped create the Hellfire Club, Mr. Sinister. And then he had his hands in Cable. He had his hands in Stripe. He had his hands in fucking everything. You know what I'm saying? And he's just just an excellent villain. I wish the X-Men Apocalypse movie was better. Because I feel like for a character that great, I feel like he should have had the representation he needed on screen. He didn't get that. Inside Manure is a fucking excellent fucking villain. So he's my 3 favorite villain of all time. My number 2 has been on everybody's list thus far, almost everybody's list thus far. It is the Crown Prince of Crime.
Hell yeah.
The Joker, number 2. I think the Joker is just like he is the perfect antithesis of, and I think the best villains are villains that represent the polar opposite value. Like, I hate when the villain has the exact same powers as the hero, where it's just like, oh, okay, like Superman has these powers, well, so does Zod, or so and so has these powers, well, so does this. It's like Red Skull and
it's just
saying it. Like, I hate when it's just like, oh, we basically got the same powers, but we have different ideology. What I love about the Joker is like the Batman is all about justice and order, and the Joker is all about chaos and anarchy. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to fuck some shit up. And I love it. And over the years, all of that. Look, you guys have said everything there is to say about the Joker, so there's not a whole lot I can add to it. Mm-hmm. What I will say is, if you look at all the theatrical releases of the Joker thus far, you think about all the theatrical releases that have happened, live action releases, all of the actors that played the Joker either won the Oscar for Best Actor or were nominated for Best Actor. Not necessarily from playing
Jared
the Joker,
Leto.
but yeah, Jared Leto has been nominated before. Heath Ledger won. I can't think of his name.
Joaquin Phoenix. He so fucking deserved it. Oh my god, it was wonderful.
Fucking Jack Nicholson. Like, these are like great actors. And I look at some of the voice actors, like Mark Hamill is probably, like his voice acting on Batman animated series.
He is the Joker. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, his Joker is incredible. His laugh, the way he plays that character, it's awesome.
How many other people's Jokers are just a fucking copy of Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill said it best. When you read, I don't remember if this was Mark Hamill, but someone said it really well, which was when you read the comic books, you read it in Mark Hamill's voice. You just can't help it.
Yeah.
I think the only one that kind of not entirely a rip-off of Mark Hamill was Joe DiMaggio's and
Under the Hood. Yeah. He did an excellent and then heard the Joker with deeper voice. I didn't like it until he's having the conversation with Batman in Arkham Asylum about killing Jason. It was amazing.
I love
it was
the line that he says in that. It's like, it's hard making the yucks when you're worm food, and then Batman slams him over the table.
Yeah. God, the Arkham Asylum games were so good with their characters.
Yeah. God. So the Joker is my number 2. And but there's clearly one person, there's one villain above all villains who would clearly be my favorite villain, and
Jon
that
Arbuckle.
villain would be nobody other than Chef Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen, because motherfucker is incredible. No, I'm joking. It's Hannibal fucking Lecter. This is my favorite villain of all time.
I was actually really willing to hear the argument for Chef Gordon Ramsay. I was totally into it.
He's an anti-hero.
I was Hannibal, I was about to be like, I did not see that coming, but you have my attention.
Chef is easily a villain, all right? Like, if you've seen Kitchen Nightmares, that
But he saves the restaurant. He just swears a lot.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, he's not a villain in the UK series.
No, he's very
He's really
nice
nice in the UK.
Yeah. He is the Punisher of food, fucking restaurant improvements.
The Punisher of food.
Yeah, the Punisher of food.
Good comic book reference.
He comes in and sticks a person's head into the meat gator.
Your chicken is fucking raw. Restaurant in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Most expensive steak I've ever had, but it was worth it.
Yeah, no, my favorite villain of all time is very easily Hannibal Lecter.
That's a good show.
I think that character is
Respectful
so even
choice.
before
I thought you were
I
going to say
started
Hannibal the
doing
beat animal. I was about to start laughing.
right even before I started wearing masks all the time. I used to watch Silence of the Lambs. I would watch Silence of the Lambs. I was fucking fascinated with that movie. Like I was just this was a guy who was locked up in his cell. And then he convinced the person in the cell next to him to kill himself. He just talked this guy into killing himself, and he convinced this guy to kill himself because he was rude to Agent Starling. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, oh, you know what? I don't like the way you talk to her. I think you should kill yourself. And he just talked this dude into fucking murdering himself.
I mean, to be fair, it's not that hard. I nearly do it to myself every day. So, it's not the hardest thing to make someone kill themselves. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's not super difficult to make.
I always loved the intellect of any villain. So, like all of the super smart villains, like your Luthors, your Grods, your Doctor Dooms. Those villains always appealed to me more, like the people that were like the super smart and I can kill you because I'm smarter than you.
Tricky, manipulative villains are the best.
Those villains are incredible. And it was just like, but like Hannibal Lecter was like, it's like, yeah, man, so you were rude to me, so I'm just gonna eat your face, and that was it. And I love that his trigger was like when he would pick his victims, a lot of times it was people that were rude to him, or if that was his trigger. It was like that was the thing that would push him over the edge. He said, "Oh, you're gonna talk reckless to me? Cool. Why don't you come by my house for dinner?" You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, "Oh, cool. What are we gonna be eating?" He's like, "We."
Oh well, no. I wanted to go back. To something Hannibal said about the most intelligent villains being the best or the most interesting, and I completely agree. In part, going to I said that compelling villains that you can sympathize with are better. I feel like Thanos and all these people they're able to actually like articulate and explain. A villain that's actually able to explain to you why they're doing what they're doing to the point where you understand where they're coming from.
Hannibal, that would be the time to flex your English.
But I feel like that is one of the most important traits in a villain is the ability to to somewhat understand where the villain's coming from. And intelligent villains are way more able to articulate why they're doing what they're doing. They're like intelligent villain is actually able to sit down and go, "Well, let me explain to you why I wanted to blow up the planet."
Yeah.
I explained to you why I wanted to touch your dick, Batman.
Yeah, I've always thought it was cool. Where it was just like, yeah, I like it. My power is that I'm smarter than you. That's it. I don't have super strength. I don't have super strength. I don't have speed. I can't, teleport myself from one place to the next. My power is that I'm smarter than you. And
I've always admired it because it usually means that like they're more like of an individualist villain because they weren't just like blessed with great power. They had to be able to use their wits to survive. Like it's something I didn't mention with my Riddler thing, but like he has this whole backstory with like his father beat him as a kid for being too smart and like that created a complex with him feeling inferior. And I always really like that because like it sort of shows that like a lot of these intellectual people people are trying to like make up for the fact that they were born inferior, like physically, and they have to make up for it with their intellect. I think
The
that's really
Riddler has a similar backstory too.
That was who I was describing with the Riddler.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, anyways, Hannibal, if you're finished, now we move on to the most
cream
anticipated.
of the crop.
I wouldn't say that. Probably just most anticipated. I mean, if you say cream, you make me think of something else. I wouldn't think about
That was a Macho Man Randy Savage reference.
Yes, there you go.
If you knew the meme I was discussing, you would not be saying cream Monty in the same.
The cream of my cum.
Why don't you share this meme?
I'm gonna go wash my face. 1 second.
Why don't you send me this meme?
Bone saw is ready. Come on my face, brother.
Hey Monty, quick question. How's Emily Blunt's face?
Snap it to my asshole, yeah!
I mean,
yeah!
it's a face, you know. She's got a normal.
No. What'd you say that Alan Reyes wrote?
Don't
Well,
you get
Alan
me?
Reyes said something about it.
Alan Reyes did not say that. You said it.
Yeah, Alan Reyes super chatted something, and I read it.
Oh, really?
Hannibal, do you happen to remember what he said about Emily Blunt's face?
Yeah. Monty said that he thought Emily Blunt had a very notable face. That's what he said.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
That's
I always say that to my female friends.
That's a
and they're like, man.
compliment if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. Woony, did you know that you have a very nuttable face?
Why, thank you.
She's actually married to the guy from The Office now.
Aw.
I'd like to
Jim
think I
from
take
The
good
Office,
care of
yeah.
myself.
Tell her I hope he nuts on her face all the time.
John Krasinski, so he probably does.
Which guy from The Office?
And look, sometimes
I
me and
think it's
Monty get on
Jim.
the phone. Like me and Monty get on the phone, and sometimes he'll just go like a 30 or 40-minute diatribe about Emily Blunt's face. I'm like, dude, bro.
No, you
you
just
know
don't
what? I can
understand.
see it.
Look
I
at the
can see it.
curvatures. They can just perfectly retain cum. It's just perfectly made.
It's the perfect cum receptacle.
Her
Yeah,
face
yeah.
is practically a chalice for cum.
He is like he's got a fetish for
Monty,
Emily
every time anyone talks to you right now, they should be like, "Oh, hey, Monty, how's it going? You had anyone nut in your face recently? You're looking really good."
Monty's got a very notable face.
No, but actually, that Monty showed on the show, the fucking like the jacuzzi for your nuts. I want one of those.
Yes.
You do realize the reason your testicles are outside of your body is because they have lower temperature?
Irish, just because you're the gay one doesn't mean you need to know biology. Right,
What the fuck does that mean?
But he's correct though that
I've also been drinking.
What the fuck was that? Oh my
I've
god,
been
Woony,
drinking
just
and
because
I'm
you're the communist
smoking
doesn't mean that you have to
right
know so much about philanthropy. Oh my god, Benjamin, just because you're the Jew doesn't mean you need to know so much about the dark arts. What the fuck is this? Yeah, a fucking gay guy needs to know so much about biology. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Ben, shut up. Let's get back on topic. Monty.
As we
Monty, go
know,
ahead.
gay guys are experts in biology is a stereotype. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, Monty, what's your list?
Listen,
Yes.
I got some Tennessee moonshine today.
All right.
Keep on squealing,
All
piggy.
right. So my list is like it's different from all of yours. I've got some of the same ones that other people have picked, but I and that's why I clarified at the beginning that we were talking about favorites and not best.
Yeah.
That's a totally different list. This is my top 10 favorite villains.
Ooh.
These are the villains that when I see them, I want to read more and more and more with these characters. These
They tickle
characters
your
are fun.
fancy.
Yes, they're fun. I enjoy it. I want to draw them. I want to see them in more stories. That's who these villains are.
I'm expecting a
Villains
lot of big titties.
You're going to be very disappointed.
Aww.
And I'll say that was my number 10 because my number 10's easy. He's been on like 4 people's lists. And Carnage.
Who was
Carnage.
Carnage?
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't really need to say anything more, but visually, this character is fucking sane and evil. Like you look at him and you go, "Oh, there's no way that's not the hero of this story."
I remember you drew him on a stream.
Yeah. You fucking love this character. Carnage is one of my favorite villains. These are my all-time favorite villains. I love these characters.
There's like only one person so far who has not had Carnage on their list.
That was me because I
Irish.
chose Venom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
might have been.
To be fair, I've never actually read a story with Carnage in it. I may actually really like Carnage. I've just never heard of
Yeah,
Carnage.
you should check Carnage out. Carnage is awesome.
I do want to. I think he's very interesting. Yeah, I like Venom.
Venom the villain, as opposed to Venom the anti-hero. Venom the villain at the time might have been my favorite comic book villain of all time. Like when he was going out of control, going to like kill Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Like it was the hate that he had, and it was
that's what I really like about Venom is that just like ruthless hatred and like vengeance and obsession and power.
You would love Carnage.
I think I would. I need to read more, experience more, play games more. You know, I'm just a spider virgin. But yeah, go on with your list, please.
Yeah, and I'll go to number 9. Number 9 is it's a character that was mentioned, but not on anyone's list. And I fucking love this character, Dexter, the Red Lantern. I fucking love Dexter. Dexter is my shit.
The cat. You know what? I sympathize with that.
You know what? I'm willing to be like.
Listen,
I listed Atrocitus. I'm more than happy to.
Yeah.
As someone,
and I was like, holy shit, this is the most hilarious and badass thing I've ever seen. How did you pull this off?
As someone who chose Lobo,
I've seen one pussy in your house and it was your cat.
As someone who chose Lobo, I'm like, goddamn, like, choose the fun guys. That's all you need.
I love a character that's different. This character, Dexter, isn't like any other villain. Dexter is unique, and Dexter will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like
outside.
Put Dexter up against a hero. Dexter would put up a fight, but.
Outside of the realm of like villains, like that's the exact reason why I like Booster Gold. I just love like fucking really unique, crazy like character ideas.
I fucking love Booster Gold.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's so good. What a funny idea of like a horrible, like selfish superhero.
Yeah, Booster Gold's phenomenal.
Yeah,
but no,
great. Go on with it.
The fucking. The whole idea of a superhero, like a full-fledged, like defeated countless supervillains, getting straight fucked up by a house cat.
To be fair, though, isn't that a great symbol for just like the fucking pointless like horribleness of rage? It just can come out of anything. It's so primal.
Goddamn, a fucking house cat just straight wrecks your shit.
That's the power of unbound rage.
Your entire career as a professional superhero.
I can't believe it.
Imagine Dexter shows up and defeats Batman. Everybody's like, "What the fuck? This cat beat Batman."
Well, to be fair, Batman often gets his meat beaten by a cat, so you know.
That's
it's not something he's unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, would that mean he would know her or?
You're saying that Batman would know how to fuck the cat?
No, he would know the cat's
to be fair, I think Bruce does have contingency plans against the Red.
He would just
get out of ball of yarn.
Slightly alter his contingency plans against Catwoman.
He probably has, to be honest. She could be a threat.
Yeah.
No, Batman has contingency plans against every. You know what?
I would like to hear his contingency.
There is only one character I would be willing to believe that Batman did not have a contingency plan against.
Alfred.
And you know what? If he did have a contingency plan, I'm gonna be real. If he did have a contingency plan against Alfred, I wouldn't even be surprised.
The thing is, I don't know if he'd need a contingency.
He would be the only person I would be willing to believe he doesn't.
You know
Yeah.
what
Everyone
Batman's
forgets that if
contingency
Alfred
plan is?
wanted to,
You want to know
Alfred
what Batman's
kicked the shit out of
contingency
Bruce.
plan is for Alfred? You push down a flight of stairs. Like, it's
No
not gonna
way,
be
he's
hard.
got
No,
training.
but
He's like a
Alfred
secret
was
agent.
kicked the hell out of
You're
Superman. You gotta keep that in
discrediting
mind.
Alfred a bit.
I'm
Alfred-
pretty
Alfred's
sure he knows like
secret
Krav Maga.
training.
Yeah, he's like
Alfred the former special ops agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could probably hold
Alfred
his
got
own against Bruce for a while.
COVID-19 right now, he would die immediately. I don't know
Yeah,
y'all know.
actually, he is very much susceptible to chemical warfare.
Yeah.
Save your Alfreds, boys and girls.
Yeah. So see, there.
donate
there you
now.
Donate now to help
Yeah.
the Alfreds in real life.
Yeah. Save the
football
Alfred's
Alfred thing,
Foundation.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so what's your next boyo? Monty.
All right, my number 8. My number 8 it was only on one other person's list, and it's Zoom from Flash, one of my all-time villains. And
No, you do have to clarify. We're talking Eobard Thawne.
Eobard Thawne,
yeah.
Zoom.
Not
The one
Hunter
that-
Solomon.
I need to read more Flashverse stuff, to be honest. I want to get more into
Yeah,
like
the one that
I'm
went
not
back-
super well versed with Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither.
the character that went back to kill Barry Allen's parents in front of him, just because.
Just because.
That's a
Just for
badass.
shits and giggle.
Yes. Yes.
Just for the shits and
and,
giggles.
and whenever things hits, he's like, "Oh, I just want to fuck with you because I hate you, but you don't know me." Like it's so great. It's so great.
He
The
really
Flash
is
meets
just
a
like
guy-
he really
the
is like
Flash
the
meets a guy from the future that hates him, and he
Yeah.
hasn't done the thing he hates him for yet.
He re-
That's just a mind fuck.
he really is just like the mustache twirling villain, but taken to like the nth degree.
Yeah, and it's believable.
Yeah.
Because I just hate this guy.
I just
I'm gonna go back and fuck up his life. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
Zoom. is
You know
fucking
what?
number-
I really do need to read more Flash first because that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, no. Flash is
Yeah,
really
it's fucking
good.
great.
He's
You got-
he's a living paradox as well. He is his own causality.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
And he's the negative Speed Force battery now, which is kind of
Yep.
awesome.
He also
He
has a
just
big
does
dick.
speed
Badass.
anymore. He doesn't have to speed off Barry anymore. He literally now creates the negative Speed Force the same way that Barry creates the Speed Force.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it.
Alright.
And number 7 is one that nobody. This is the second, or this is the first that hasn't been mentioned yet on this show.
Mhm.
Be out. You're gonna want to contest it as soon as I start saying it.
Ooh.
The rest of it. Number 7 is the Hulk.
No, I totally understand.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
From
Hulk's
Old
killed
Man Logan.
innocence by
The
accident.
the Hulk
Yeah.
from Old Man Logan, though.
Oh.
Papa Hulk.
I'm not
Oh,
familiar.
yes.
Papa Hulk.
Yeah. We're like
That
the
Hulk.
inbred family of Hulks that are.
Yes.
That Hulk raped his own cousin to have kids.
Yes.
It was
yes.
Bruce Banner who raped She-Hulk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, and that Hulk was a piece of shit, and
He
damn
ate
near
Logan whole.
unstoppable.
Isn't that the only
Yes.
time Logan's beaten him in a fight too?
Like
he's
proper-
beaten
it's the only
Hulk,
time he's
right?
killed
Yeah,
him.
properly, right?
Yeah, he won by being eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
slashed
ate him
open
and then he
his-
popped his claws out through his stomach.
Yes.
Is that it's the only reason he was able to do that is because old Hulk's healing factor isn't as strong, even though he's much stronger than he used to be because of all the gamma he absorbed. Healing factor
Yeah.
is kind of like Logan's; it's kind of dead.
Yeah. So that's my 7. Old Man Logan is probably one of my. It's in my top 10 favorite comics.
Mm.
I love that comic. And that
I've not checked that one out.
I definitely
Yeah,
gotta
I
read
need
that.
Oh,
to.
it's worth a read. It's great. It's great.
So
And
many good
all right,
comics.
number 6 is a test for you guys because you seem to be comic fans.
Oh, I love
So-
cock.
Well, comics, not comics.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa.
Comics. Comics. No, it has nothing to do with cock.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! And I was.
It might have
wrong.
little to do with cock.
It might have a
No,
little.
no, so no, this character doesn't have a cock. I'm gonna
Oh.
say the name just to see.
Dr.
who knows
Manhattan?
Who the fuck it is
Oh no, wait, he had a
without-
cock.
without googling.
Yeah.
This is like important shit on your internet right now.
Mhm.
Don't use your Googles.
Okay.
But my number 6 is Winnowill Does anybody know who the fuck
Widower.
that is? Winnowill.
The name
W-I-N-O.
sounds
Never heard of that
familiar.
name.
No,
The name
I
sounds
can't lie.
familiar. I can put my
Is it from like
finger on it forever.
Sandman or something? I don't know. I never.
No, Winnowill.
I have heard the name.
She is from ElfQuest. And if you
Nope,
have
never
not
read it. I
ElfQuest,
apologize.
If you have not read ElfQuest, I highly,
Oh,
highly,
I think a
highly
friend of mine
recommend
recommended it a while ago. I'll
Yes.
definitely check it
And
out.
look, read ElfQuest because it is, even by today's standard,
Mhm.
some of the best comic book art you'll ever read. The storytelling is absolutely fucking flawless. The facial expressions are perfect, down to subtle, nuanced emotion. Wendy Pini and Richard Pini are the greatest team comic books have ever seen, and I dare anyone to show me someone better. Winnowill is one of the most evil and fun villains you'll ever run across. She is part of another tribe of elves, and she just decides to fuck with the guys on their quest in the most interesting and fun ways. I don't want to spoil the story. Give
And
Quest to
Mike,
read.
since I know you're
ElfQuest
going to watch this, feel free to
deserves
put
a read.
Monty wrong in the comments.
Yes. But Winnowill is my number. She's such a great villain.
Mhm.
So that brings me to my top 5.
Ooh.
With yes, top 5. My top. I'm looking at 5. I've never looked at it. It's a 5. This is a fun list. All right. My number 5 is another Or wait, no, I don't have a Batman villain. This is my first Batman. All right, my first Batman villain, and it's Clayface. I have loved Clayface since the first time I ever saw Clayface.
I love Clay.
I really enjoy
You know,
Clayface as well.
That is for a choice of Batman villain. That is a respectable choice.
Yeah.
Clayface is fun as a reader and as a creator. When I see
Yeah.
Clayface,
Yeah.
I just think of all the possibilities, all the stuff you can do visually with this character.
He's a lot like Venom and Carnage in that sense, where he's just this really malleable design that you can put in like a lot of creepy and like intriguing places. Especially if you want to play on like how he's supposed to be this distortion of beauty and beauty standards, and you can have him like melt into faces and bodies.
Can really Clayface can be a real great representation of like the feeling whatever particular like Batman property is going for.
Batman animated series did a really good job with depicting him, like melting and losing one's humanity.
You basically Clayface is one of those characters that you can totally shape to however like whatever feeling you're for this particular iteration of Batman.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Very well.
Like the new Harley Quinn series did a good job with him too.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember what story it was, but Poison Ivy had kind of possessed him in the story I read. That was a really great idea to use.
That is interesting.
That does sound interesting.
Poison Ivy. I'm trying to remember what story it was.
I remember. Check that out.
They do sound like a logical pair.
Yeah, he is a very manipulatable man.
Remember being really sad. Batwoman killed him after Batman Inc.
Yeah.
She fucking murdered him. Everyone in the Bat family was furious. Like Bruce tried to kick the shit out of her. Because he was like, no, because basically Clayface, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure Hannibal and Monty, you guys probably know, Clayface was a hero for a while. He was part of Batman Inc. And he had this thing, Bruce had developed a thing that kept him under control and allowed him to not go crazy. It's only he only became a villain when he lost control and hated losing control. And the one time he fucking Kitty Kane shoots him in the and kills him.
Yeah.
Bruce's cousin, by the way. It's Bruce's cousin.
Hence why he was so angry at her, because it's like, fuck you.
Fuck you, you stupid
I finally saved a villain and you murdered him.
I did what I've been trying to do for years.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The main purpose of Batman to save the villains, and he fucking
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. And now you killed him. Now I gotta not kill you.
I wish
But
that
want
was the response. And now you killed him. Good job. Wow. Really proud of you.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll hit my number 4. My number 4 is a fun one. This is the longest name for a villain of tonight's episode.
Mr.
Possibly
Mixio
the
Pilsner.
longest villain. Oh no, not that. Possibly the longest villain ever. But the evil Mad Bomber, what bombed midnight from the Tick.
Oh my god. Ah, the Tick. That's a good
sounds
choice.
like a video
Oh
game.
my god.
That sounds like a video game.
The Tick is it's a comedy cartoon, like basically parody of superhero stuff. That's really
It
good.
started as a
Back in the
comic.
day.
It was originally a
Yeah,
comic.
it did.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was.
they made a really good cartoon out of it. Spoon.
Yeah, no, that.
Damn it, that was a
Yeah,
great
so-
choice.
Yeah. The evil Mad Bomber bombs at midnight. He was fucking awesome. I love that character. He's just so insane. And he blows shit up. Like, I would love a chance to write a Tick story or draw a Tick story with Tick versus Guy. Him or Chairface Chippendale. But, you know, he's not on my list, so I'll
Go kidnap the Creator,
Sure,
Monty.
yeah, I should. And I'll
Here's
really
tomorrow's
like to know-
villain.
No, I have to counter the Monarch tomorrow. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. I haven't figured out what it is.
The Monarch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr.
didn't you already do the Monarch?
Yeah, I did the Monarch, but Dr. Girlfriend is too easy. I'll do something else. If I wake up,
Isn't
and I'm feeling
Monarch
like-
the
What are you doing, the Monarch?
That's the
what's
Venture Bros
the,
villain.
have
I get you.
Have you done what's this face? Minion.
Ooh, if you want a good Venture Brothers villain, try what's his name? Doctor. It's Baron Underbite. I really love his design. Yeah.
No, I have an idea
but
for which direction to go.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna
fair
surprise
enough.
y'all tomorrow.
Okay, best of
So,
luck.
I
I'm
don't know
excited.
I was gonna say, what's the name of the minion who didn't die? The one who.
Oh, number 23. Oh, 23. Henchman 23.
Yeah, Henchman 23. Yeah.
Oh, I
but-
love him.
Guys, hold on. I have
With
something
this
to say
little
to Monty.
fucking, with this hench for life thing on his chest. I have a t-shirt of that.
Ben, hold on. Ben, hold on. Monty, you've been on time lately. Don't fuck this up.
We'll see. And
But yeah,
Just
look,
for-
yeah.
of you that know, Monty has a 12 game line for me.
Oh, nice.
yeah, no, I don't even know how the fuck that started, but
What do you mean?
Neither do I. I just got pissed one day. I guess I was in bed when the fucking smash.
Like, where's the goddamn villain? I've been doing this shit for 240 something days. Chill the fuck up.
How dare you, Montel? Are you gonna do Heroes after this?
Huh?
You gonna do Heroes after this?
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I'm gonna see. I don't know how. I might want to break from having to get up every goddamn day and draw something, draw a card, because it's kind of taxing at times. But I'm doing this as a test of, of my skill and my dedication.
By the way, guys, he did do Mecha Hitler, just in case you were wondering, Ben, you were wondering.
I
That-
did do Mecha Hitler.
I wasn't necessarily wondering
Yeah.
I did. Oh, go ahead.
Facebook banned my original Mecha Hitler.
that. Oh.
Oh, that sucks. I was gonna say when Smash Bros. Ultimate came out, me and a couple friends, as a joke, were because they announced they were gonna do the DLC, and we were like, let's come up with like the most ridiculous characters they could do for DLC, and my number one choice was Mecha Hitler, Wolfenstein 3D.
My go-to choice has always been Crazy Taxi.
That would
Yeah.
be great. No,
I
Mecha
want-
Hitler versus Crazy Taxi in Smash Bros.
I would love it if a fucking guy in the taxi was just a fucking playable character.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
No, the taxi is.
Yeah,
playable
exactly. The
character.
guy, just one of the 4 characters in the taxi. That's just the character. Hey! Time to run over some Smash characters.
Anyways, Monty, what's your next selection? I gotta cut these guys off.
All right. Well, my number three is from a comic that hopefully you guys have read. It's by Image, drawn by a friend of mine, and
Spawn?
An artist from Laplace. And it's
Louisiana, right?
Yes.
I know where that's at.
Yeah, drawn by Rob Guillory, character from Chew. So if you haven't read Chew, you need to check it out.
Oh.
Cheap plug for you, Rob. Mason Savoy.
Oh.
And if you don't know who Mason Savoy is, here's the description from the fandom wiki. It says Mason is one of 3 known chibopaths in the world. That means he can take a bite of an apple and get a feeling in his head about what tree it grew from, what pesticides were used on the crop, and when it was harvested. Or he can take a bite of human flesh and learn many of the secrets of the person who wore that flesh.
That is awesome.
That's also the ability of the main character, Chew. And like Chew is a really quirky story where
so like a psychic cannibal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's a chibopath.
Not our Hannibal. Not our Hannibal.
And yeah, Mason Savoy is a detective that works against the main character, and he is fucking insane. Tell your editor guy to find a picture of him. Any picture you find of Mason Savoy is awesome.
Oh, there will be pictures for every
Mason
character.
Savoy is the main character.
No, he's the villain.
No, he's the villain.
Okay, so
He's the
is
villain,
the main character a cannibal as well?
Yes, the main character is.
Ooh.
But he doesn't eat people.
Fantastic.
He just has that ability.
He just has the
I'm
ability to be a
asking,
cannibal.
does
He
he
has
eat?
Yeah, he has trouble with it. Like he can even eat things like.
What is it with
issue start-
what is it with
the
Image
second issue
Comics?
starts-
What is it with like Image Comics and like the main character just has like the villain's powers but uses them for good, like Spawn?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, but it creates weird dilemmas because the second issue, his partner brings him to a room. It's like, we got a tough case to solve, and only you can solve it. And the character's like, what am I going to have to do? So they walk into the room. The only thing in the room is a turd in the middle of the floor. And
his partner starts screaming, "Turn that shit into wine! Turn that shit into wine!"
You gotta eat the turd.
If he eats the shit, he can find out what happened. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. It's stuff like that happens in the story. Chew is a great comic. Check it out.
Cool.
And it's from
That
an
sounds
artist
great.
that I'm friends with, and he's local. Support him, and this villain is genuinely great.
The wackiness of that reminds me of.
I think eating poop makes you a cannibal.
The wackiness.
I would prefer if he was from Baton Rouge.
Yeah. The wackiness of it reminds me of Scud. I love that type of fucking crazy comic stuff.
The art style, Rob's art is very similar to Scud's art.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Rob is very.
Wait, are you talking about Rob Schraub?
No, Rob Guillory.
Oh,
Rob
okay,
Guillory is
all
the
right.
artist for Chew.
Oh, okay, Rob Schraub is the name of the artist for Scud, so that's a coincidence they both have the same name.
So it's check out Chew. It's great, and let me know what y'all think about it. I'll pass it on to Rob Guillory. I need to get a quote from him about Hannibal and Monty. I have one about Monty and the Mongoose, but I need to get Monty. We got to pull him on the show, Hannibal. Also.
Yeah, which would be better because Hannibal and Monty Shit Show is clearly the superior Monty podcast. So
it is. It is. I agree.
There we go.
If the mongoose sees that, just know that he said.
What's wrong with the Monty Python podcast? I don't know. I feel like they.
Well, we're better than them. We're better than the Monty Python podcast.
Ben, that's a porn channel.
Even have a podcast?
Is it really? How do you guys think you can compete with porn? Be honest with yourself.
Yeah, no, that's true. You guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. True.
I mean, if you've seen pictures of Monty at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, we're setting up an OnlyFans. So
what the fuck are you saying?
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah, the OnlyFans will be that Hannibal the Beat Animal will take a bite out of different bitches.
I can't believe you guys would engage in such a sexually depraved action. Where's the name of your OnlyFans again? I just need to know.
Shanny for Christ porn, Ben. I don't want to hear it.
I didn't watch it. You made me look at it.
Yeah,
It
guys,
was-
by the way, Hannibal Monty, I meant to tell you guys.
True nightmare made everyone look at it.
My first initiation for everybody in here was to watch this shanty porn, just so you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't even it wasn't shanty porn. It was specifically the video of her naked in bathtub. That was our initiation.
Nightmare doesn't want to admit it, but he gets really hard when he sees anybody like watch shanty for Christ porn.
I would rather go fight that bear.
Why do you keep doing it, Nightmare?
Because she looks like someone dropped lasagna and turned into a wheel.
We're fighting against each other when we should be fighting against Monty's next choice.
We did the math, actually. She's lighter than a dwarf sperm whale.
Yeah, she weighs more than a pygmy sperm whale.
Probably. All
guys are
right.
good,
I'm
man.
gonna get to number 2 so that we're not talking about the wheel. So, like she's genuinely been pissing me off lately, and I'm fighting the urge to be like Hannibal torture episode. So there you go. We'll go.
Do it.
My number. No, I don't want to. Number 2 is from the thing that I love the most, and my absolute favorite character from it, which is Starscream from Transformers.
Ooh.
Starscream, in my opinion, is one of the best villains.
Now, do you mean?
Okay, now what comic? What comic specifically are you talking? Like which comic?
Are you talking about OG Starscream, or are you talking about like F-22 Raptor Starscream?
Are you talking like the Dark Star, like Dark Horse, or what are they called again? Damn it, I can't remember the company.
Basically, every version of Starscream except for whatever the Michael Bay did. Like every other version, I'm fine with.
I don't know if we're going for any version. I feel like Dinobot is kind of superior to Starscream. Just saying.
I liked the version they had in the recent cartoon.
Yeah.
I liked the one they had in Transformers. Do you know the cartoon where they had recently with Megatron going after a lot of dark energy on? The one that had like the kids
animated.
In it.
Oh, are you talking about Prime?
Yeah, Transformers Prime. I loved the Starscream in that because he was such a conniving bitch.
I like the one in animated. He was an utter scumbag.
And that's the thing about Starscream.
Yeah.
As long as you get that, like
conniving, weaselly asshole.
Yeah, Megatron's bad. Starscream's with him. He's his right man, but Starscream's like, the minute you seize power, I am going to kill your ass. You don't even know it yet.
Yeah. I am going to argue, though, I prefer Dinobot just because he has this, like, cool death and, like, extra level of nobility to him.
Yeah. Look, if we're going Beast Wars and we're looking at those characters, Inferno is the best character in that series. I loved his fucking
he is very funny. Protect the queen! But I really love Dinobot's character, especially his death, dude. Like, top 10 saddest anime deaths, dude, for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dinobot went out like a boss.
Yeah, it was so epic. Oh my god, that's like the best.
Yeah.
The series only got worse from there, to be honest.
Yeah, when it turned into Beast Machines.
I would listen. You're talking to the biggest fan of Starscream. I love Starscream, but I if you're saying any version of like the Transformers, I don't know. Dinobot's really good.
Yeah. No, I'll give that to you. I'll meet you there. I'm not mad at that at all. Like, I thought we were gonna argue more on this. Like,
no, you've got great choices, dude.
I was expecting to argue.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more arguments, but it's not happening.
Apparently, we're just all cool with our comic choices, man.
Yeah, no, we all seem to be on kind of the same page.
Yeah.
And when I get to my number 1, which here it is, it's been on a lot of people's lists. I can't remember how many, but my number 1 has always. There was no debate when putting this together because he's still my favorite.
Jon Arbuckle.
My number 1 is Venom. So
Venom's a good villain.
Yeah. Venom has always been my favorite, and villain, hero, anti-hero, whatever he is. I love every version of Venom. I just love that character.
Now, do you mean every version, or specifically is Eddie Brock's Venom your favorite?
I liked when No Leg Flash was Venom. I enjoyed the shit
Agent Venom was awesome.
Agent Venom was the shit.
Venom was awesome too.
Yeah, like I enjoy Venom. I prefer any, but I'll take Venom in any form.
Play us out, Woney.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Nightmare
we should have
yourself. There we go.
So,
God, he's
alright,
so baked.
I didn't realize.
want me to
I was-
do
Okay,
it?
all right,
I
I'll
didn't
play
realize
us
I was
out.
gonna be put
Fuck
on the
it.
spot. No,
I'll
shut
play
the
us
fuck
out.
up. Fuck you. I can do it.
I can do it. I can
You
do
fine,
it.
you can go ahead.
All right, I'm doing it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that was really fun. It was really great having you, Hannibal and Monty, on. It was great sharing all of our opinions on fucking comics. It was a wonderful time.
Probably our
Yeah.
best show so
It
far, to
was
be
great
fair.
being on.
Yeah, I hope we can do this again sometime. And with all that done, great. So sorry, editor. It's been real. I'm Fanatical.
I'm the Irish
I'm the
Devil.
American Nightmare.
I am the Looney.
And he's baked.
And
Fuck you.
we're signing
And
out.
we're your
See you
internet
guys.
friends.
We're your
Bye.
internet friends. Bye.